Suddenly, Peter Obi went to England and come back with a new idea. He said it's God's doing, that you never can say that this is God. Only God can do this. So no problem. He will still come out to tell you one story. Now story, name that they tell. You know? So Mazi, if you're working fine, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You
I
have the
really
mic.
appreciate it. Hmm?
You have the microphone.
Yeah. Am I? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
Go on.
I am very, 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 very happy, to be part of this. This is the very first time I hooked up on a Biafran channel because
Wow.
for possibly I think 6 months now, I have been following the Biafran stuff for 6 months now, and I've been loving it. I must tell you, there's a lot of confusion. Obviously, at a point, I was confused as well, but as I kept listening, because I listened to you a lot, I listened to you, that's the
Wow.
host, I listened to you a lot. I listened to the new guy. There was a guy that just left. I listened to this guy as well. The guy that's wearing the Biafran cap. I listened to him as well, So, and I've met
Okay.
some guys in Wolverhampton here.
Battlecry. Okay,
Yeah,
Ralph.
yes, I've met some guys in Wolverhampton as well. There are, I think, Pure Biafran. And I think so. So let me just quickly say something. I am very, very proud of you guys, to be completely honest. Very, very
Thank you.
proud of you guys. I must commend you guys for, being steadfast, because one important thing people must consider in everything they do is consistency. When someone is consistent, you become different, you look different. And that's just the case. The consistency is key. And I knew when I started listening, I started seeing you. It's been a very long time and you keep saying the same thing. So I
Wow.
really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And also I want to
Thank
just
you.
talk about our leader. Obviously we'll be making calls that the leader should be released. He did nothing, he's innocent, and the court has acquitted him. Of course, I also want to talk about uh, Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is my own brother. We are almost from the same, I think, local government, local community. We are from the same local government.
Wow.
And I first and foremost, at the beginning, I was suspicious of him. I wasn't really sure of his
Abukola the
design.
local government time because Abukola the local government time.
I understand. So I was a bit suspicious of him, considering the fact that Nigeria, you hardly know who's saying the truth, So, but there was something that happened in my community, and he said it, and when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was still broadcasting Radio Biafra, he made mention of the local government chairman who was responsible for what was happening and what have you, and so his truthfulness, because I was privy to what really was happening there, so his truthfulness singled him out, and I started to listen to him more carefully because I knew he was saying the truth, and I was convinced this guy was a good guy. Even at the height of him being arrested or being invited by the Finnish police, even here in the United Kingdom, a lot of folks were saying this guy is causing trouble. Allow Peter Obi to win. Our leader will be released, and what have you. So, but this election and the outcome has really shown that we've got to be very careful. We've got to be very careful. I am very, very shameful that Igbos were allowed to, be used. We were used, honestly. Imagine the situation scenario where the whole of the Southeast never participated in the election, and BBC was reporting it, CNN was reporting it, that the whole of Southeast never participated in the election. I think no one will call ya data. It does. A na-ekwe mmadụ ya dị proud, ịghọtago, anya
Yeah.
ndị mmadụ na ebe a mere na nke anyị, na atụsịalụ vootu a niile atụlụ na nke
Maazị
atụlụ na
Ifeanyị, Maazị Ifeanyị, chere biko biko chekwanụ.
ọdụ mma.
Okay. Maazị Ifeanyị, abeg, tell me one sincere truth. Um, when this trend of election started, when we started going with our madness, say many people say we were mad.
That
when we
obviously,
said that.
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
At the point I was buying the idea.
Oh, God, hey, you don't talk. You don't answer my question. And you don't answer my question. You don't answer my question, no.
You know, when Peter B came to London, some of our guys, we went there. Most of us went there to see him, and I was part of it because I have to be honest. I was part of it. I,
God
I
bless
was
you
saying,
for being honest. That is what I
I was
wanted to
saying, I
hear.
was saying,
God
this
bless
is
you
an
for being honest.
opportunity for us, So honestly, if you plays you, to be honest, mgbe ife a bidoro mgbe a na-agba ya live a agbalụ gbago elu agbalụ gbada
Mm,
na-eme ya eli
mm.
na-eme nnọọ yọtago ndị mmadụ na-asị ụnụ dajuo na onye a win ya na ọ ya eje na Abuja kpọpụta lidi anyị mee nke a mee nke ọzọ
Yeah.
mgbe ahụ ọ na-atọ ya ụtọ mana ịmana ife a is patronizing mana mgbe m fụziri na ife a dị eje ka o kweziri mgbe anyị fụrụ onye nụma na London na-akwagharị na London ya na ndị local government ndị British because we know that the British don't want Nigeria to change.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. We have to be honest here. They
Yeah.
don't.
That's just the
Within
simple
them,
truth.
if you live in Britain, if you're listening to me and you live in Britain, just speak among them, just talk among them, just talk with them. You will notice that they don't see Nigeria like they they might tell you that Nigeria should, but they don't see Nigeria in the light of changing the way it is now because it's favoring them. It's favoring them. Do you know? As I'm talking to you, I traveled. I traveled to Birmingham. I think about 2 days ago, and somebody was asking me, an Indian, which part of Africa are you from? I told him Biafra. I said, where is Biafra? Biafra. I said, Biafra is Biafra, Oga. Biafra is Biafra. He started Googling. So Biafra is within Nigeria. I said, yes, Biafra. He said, it's not a real country. I said, it's a real country, young man. So onye ọbụla na-agbalụ ịza afa Nigeria ọsọ ịgwa mmadụ na ewe onye Nigeria enwe ka a ya abụghị
Mhm.
Sure.
and it's not the truth. Maka ndị
Exactly.
gbara si na ọ gbalụọ ya gbalụ na nke bụ gbara arụ agwọ mkpi mmụọ ịkpọ isi na iwe Nigeria enwe ka a ya na-afụghị even ma na school even in school if you say ibi na-agwa ndị mmadụ iwe onye Nigeria enwe ka a ya afụghị ya sị na ịmara ihe ị na-eme they'll be looking at you, somehow. Either na iwe onye oli or na ị na-agba ama maọbụ na ị na-eme nke a na-eme nke ọzọ. So it's a lesson to all of us ndị Igbo ka anyị mara onwe anyị ka anyị mara ife ka anyị mara ife ndị mmadụ sị na anyị afụla onwe anyị n'anya anyị na-emekwa ka ọ dị ka anyị afụla onwe anyị n'anya nekwa ife a mere ugbu a is a slap to Nnamdi Kanu. Imagine na election na all of us gather together anyị asị that without Mazi Nnamdi Kanu leaving the DSS custody na mmadụ anyị atụ vote ọ bụ na anyị mere ya emelụ meseji ọ ya sendele ndị na-ebebe anọ na-ege ebe anyị na-ekwu because it will send them that message and they will know that Nnamdi Kanu is more important to us than any form of election. Ọkwa ifele ezigbo ifele ji anyị ebe a
Maazị Ifeanyi, Maazị Ifeanyi,
ekene m
chere,
unu
chere,
ọ ya
chere,
adịrụ m na
chere.
mma.
Maazị
Okay.
Ifeanyi, chere. Never go. Wait.
Okay.
You were in UK, right? And you are still in UK.
Yes, move on to you.
Ah, so that means all this while that you were supporting Obi, you were not even in Nigeria. You were not going to
Well,
vote. Oh my God.
no, now juju be that too. Now juju,
Photo. Photo.
na ndị emega anyị bụ m n'anya, ndị emela ya bụ m n'anya. Chai, Chinekele.
Photo.
Ndị emega anyị bụ m n'anya. Chineke meela ya ebere.
Now, this is what we have been saying. We engage people on Twitter. Now, we may have like 1.5k people coming to attack us and say they are Obi. But none of these people that are attacking you on Twitter are actually residing in Nigeria.
No,
You
Sonny,
make people
Nigeria,
that.
Sonny, residing in Nigeria is a wrong statement. None of them is residing close to Africa.
Okay,
And that's
close
true.
to Africa.
It's true.
So
It's
the
true.
main people now that have the right to even cast the vote, they don't even reach 5%. But 95% of people that are not going to cast the vote are the ones on the social media.
And the worst one is that now some people, even in London, you understand, even in the UK, some Yoruba people that live there still don't believe that an Igbo man will become the president. I'm telling you, they say it secretly to us
They know the
that
truth.
na nke ikpeazụ a,
Yeah.
provided that Tinubu is involved, there's no way they would allow an Igbo man in this time now, Olu ndị bebe, and they will just give it to, then dash it to, So it's just obvious, but it's very sad that Nande Bayada and Wifa, you know, you will not blame, you not to blame us, our the media team. Don't to blame us. You know why? You keep
Battle
on
cry, battle
looking
cry, battle cry TV. Please try to
Yeah.
cut this part of this new convert, this part of his interview. Cut it out so that we will have testimony to explain to Obidient.
Okay.
Look at Ikorodu
Very
local
interesting.
government. The guy won
Hello,
27,000 votes.
Ifeanyi.
Yes, sir.
Ịma na ị na-akọ ihe a na maka na Obi lose. Ọ bụ na Obi enwere ka Obi si win ọfụchi na anyị nwa n'onwe anyị na anyị mana ọ bụgodị na Obi win ihe a na-akọkwa na ga-abụkwa ọ bụ na o meghọ na ọ ga-eme later because ọ bụ na Obi win himself ọ kara ịbụ the worst. There's something I want you to understand because ihe na-akọ na anyị na-akọ ya na maka na odogo ga ya na Obi win. But I want you to understand that now, even Gentio, let me make you understand something. Even if Obi had won, it would have been a worst case scenario for every Biafran. It's even a good news for Biafrans now that Obi, there's no hope for Obi. Now, it is clear to you that there's no hope for Obi. Let me tell you, if Obi had won, where it would have been the worst for us. It would have been the worst for us because the hatred for Igbo would have intensified if Obi had won. Now that Obi have not won, we are back to where we were before. That it is just like normal now. But if Obi had won, I bet you with my 10 fingers and my 10 toes that the hatred for Igbo will intensify. The lives of Igbos in the north will be more in danger. The life of Igbos in Abuja will be more in danger. You know why? Because Nyamini is in Aso Rock. And Nyamini in Aso Rock is danger for you. Don't you know? Your life is a threat. Boko Haram will increase. The caliphate will open their eyes against you. In fact, Goodluck Jonathan's era would have been El Dorado compared to Obi because Goodluck Jonathan, they compared because they have divided us. They do not compare him as an Igbo man. They don't consider him as an Igbo man. They hate you with passion. You should have all known this. And all these people that may now begin to come back, they should thank their stars that Obi has lost every hope. Now, Obi wants to go to court and all those nonsense, he wants to all those charades. There are some prophets that are prophesying up and down. Osibanjo will be interim president. Tinubu will be awarded. Then later, Tinubu will be arrested. Tinubu will do all those gibberish. Let me tell you guys, there is no hope for you apart from Biafra. Biafra is the last hope. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has, look, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu read the last chapter of the book and he saw the ending. We peeped into the crystal ball. Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is able to take words from the mind of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, saw the end from the beginning. And we began to malo from the beginning. Now, look, there must not be any election ever again in Igbo. But people did not hear. The level of bloodshed, the level of massacre would have been second to none. I'm telling you the truth. Because look, there is no way we can validate this election because validating it will spell doom for the Biafran people. It will begin to be clarified in their eyes now as the days begin to go by. Thank God that now, at least at the early stage now, people like you are seeing it, are seeing into what we were actually talking about. Many
Honestly,
of these
I
things will be
listened.
unfolding to you.
Yes, I listened to one of your long broadcasts. You know where you were talking about those people that say you are someone is in his comfort zone. You are in Europe and you. I think I don't know who is really talking, but I think it's you wearing the Biafran hat, right?
The
I'm
Okay.
the
flag.
one
Yes.
talking. I'm the
Yes.
one talking. Just like
Yes.
I'm,
I
I'm,
listen. I
I'm
listen. Yes.
Chiamaka Jere, Pastor Vam Vam Vam.
Yes. I listened to one of your long broadcasts, where you were talking about people being in their comfort zone and what have you, and it was a touching, broadcast. Honestly, it was touching,
Massive
and
Ibrahim, Massive Ibrahim,
yeah,
I have
yeah,
another question for you. Please,
okay,
dear friends, I want you people to welcome this new convert because I'm questioning him so that you can learn something. So, in the place of you people endorsing Obi when he came to UK, what was your convictions that Obi will likely be the president or that is going to win the Fulanese, where you had like 5 Fulanese ahead of Obi? What were the convictions you people in UK gave Obi that he will win, he can go? Being that you people were in far back UK, whereas the election has to happen in far back Nigeria. What
you,
were the
you know when
convictions you people had?
when you are analyzing geopolitics, you have to be, looking at various variables. There are people who are the actors, and in this situation, the United Kingdom is one of the actors here. They own one of the highest rights as far as Nigeria is concerned, and they have this influence. So
Hold
that's what we
on,
thought.
hold on,
Maybe
hold on,
inviting.
hold on,
Okay.
hold on. Biafrans have just picked one point. So from
Okay.
what you're saying, you people were hoping on United Kingdom to have used their influence to
Yes.
emancipate
Like, yes. This.
Obi's presidency.
Yeah, this is the point. What we're looking at is a situation
Wow,
where the United
wow,
Kingdom is tired.
wow, wow,
The United
wow,
Kingdom is tired
wow.
of the status quo,
Allow
and
me
they're
make
like
a
trying
time
to
for
like.
you, please.
Sonny, happen on ya ka okwu ka inu ihe ọ na-ekwu nnu.
So what I'm saying
If
is,
I
look,
na-ekwu
look at
biko.
okay, look
Hey.
at how I calculated it. I was actually looking at a situation where, or we were looking at a situation where the United Kingdom is sick and tired of the situation in Nigeria and needed to really allow a credible democratic process to take place. That was what our calculation was. And also, with the influence, they could actually influence the caliphate to allow for a credible election. You understand what I mean? So that was why we said, okay, his invitation to the United Kingdom was a prelude for a credible election, a credible poll in Nigeria, a conviction that the Fulani people would be or would allow a credible election or would allow a vote for an Igbo man that would, significantly transform the situation. That was our calculation. And that's another thing. We're also looking at our own interest because Obi floated the idea that he was going to restructure Nigeria if he's elected. And we hoped that because Mazin Nnamdi Kanu demanded for two things. He told the Eastern governors that you either restructure the country or give us a date for a referendum. So if a restructuring of the country happens, it's also to our own advantage as well. you know. And if LB had won, there's at least a 95% chance that Mazin Nnamdi Kanu will be released. That's our own. We have to be honest here. So we just thought we could also play the game as well. Like for example, if he wins, like he will declare Nnamdi Kanu out. Negotiate with the IPOB, and then declare, a restructuring of the
Okay,
constitution. Whatever.
Massifying,
That's actually what it's.
Abeg, no vex because people waiting for comment section. They say you they kill them with grammar.
Na grab ya kapraka.
So abeg, when I go
Policy
through the
Biafra
next
wants all of
question,
you.
when I go through the next question, try to use
I know
broken.
you can.
Try to use broken when I go through the next question. Okay, my next question goes like this. Um, if you guys that organize the reception of Obi and support of Obi with the idea of the influence of the British to make sure he will go there. Then, in none of Obi's campaign promises or manifestos did Obi ever make mention or portrayed the Biafran idea to have been something important. There are a series of videos where Obi was interviewed, and then Obi made derogatory words like derogatory statement about Biafra, like Biafra had died 50 something years ago and should never be allowed to come back again. Then, in like manner, he went on to say, when they asked him, what happens to the people that die of the Biafran issue, what will you do? He said, we may not compensate them. We may not compensate them. Then they went ahead to ask him again, what will you do about the Fulani conquest and the jihadis that are killing people and rampaging everywhere? He said, for the Fulani conquest and the terrorists, I will renegotiate with them. I will sit down on the round table and then talk to them, make sure they come back, possibly they come back and live with the same people in the same community where they had desolated their homes, raped their mothers and children, and then cut their heads off. So with this in mind, how were you people able to come to the conclusion that with Obi in the pace as a seeming president with this illusion, that he might likely portray the idea of Biafra later, or come to see the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or even talk about the release of other Biafrans that are behind bars? What conviction did you people have? Because you must look at the antecedent. You must look at the antecedent of someone and the present speeches of the person before you can be able to use what he says to read the body language of tomorrow. So, what convictions you had based on this?
Well, well, in the course of asking your questions, you make a very valid point. But there are areas I would like you to just quickly throw your mind out. We have to be very honest here, very very honest. If let me say this election had gone the way of Obi, there would have pretty be a different, I think a different situation in Nigeria today, because obviously he will be running on, I think, a platform that has that has the rule of law more in pronunciations. What I mean is like more pronounced, like the rule of law would have been more pronounced, because he would have won on the good faith of a credible election. He was voted in by the people. It would have been the first time in Nigerian history where an outsider, so-called outsider, or someone who is perceived to not have any structure, wins an election. It will be a mini revolution in Nigeria. And it will bring us to the point where people would say, okay, you have won on this threshold, so you've got to do something different. So he'll be doing something different. To be honest, he's going to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's going to do that. Another thing he might do is float the idea of restructuring. I mean, this country would have been restructured if Obi had, made it. We don't know yet, but the way it's looking, it's not going to be right. The country will be restructured. I'm not talking about restructuring where the constitution will be changed automatically, but I'm very, very confident that something different would have happened in the country, to be honest. And another thing that you have to go home with tonight is, to be honest, if Obi had won, the idea of Biafra the bar of Biafra would have reduced to at least 40% in Nigeria, to be completely honest. If he had won tonight, let me assume that tonight, like this night, Obi is leading in 34 states with about 25% of votes in other areas. As I'm speaking to you, the idea of Biafra would reduce, the power of Biafra will reduce to 40%. To be completely honest, we have to be honest here, and that's just the truth, because he will going to definitely kill agitation.
Because that was the original plan. Make your network no. Make your network no fuck up.
Network abeg. Don't kick our guests out, because this is
Make the
our
network wait, and even if the network no wait, I get comments to make. And
abeg network, no kick our brother out. He's a new convert.
If he take him out, let him come back.
Yeah, if you
Ralph,
kick him
make your
out,
comment
kick
before
him
he
back.
comes back. Ralph, make your comment before he comes back.
Yeah, if I thank God you're here. And if I don't you think that are you here with us? Ifeanyi? Okay.
Ifeanyi, go out and come back. Matthew, go take him out. Let him come back again so that he can refresh his network.